Okay, so we've got three tables. We've got a doctor's table with some records in, and we've also got a patient table with some records in. And what we need to do is create a form to enter the data when someone comes in and makes an appointment to see the doctor. So to do that, we're actually going to go and create a query to pick the fields that we actually need to put into our form. So I'm going to click on Query Design. It's going to come up with the table, which you should be familiar with from the relationships. I'm going to select all three of them and choose Add, and then close it, and it's going to put them up here. And what I can do is I can then select the fields that I need if I'm going to make an appointment. So first of all, I'm going to double click an appointment ID. That's the first thing we're going to need, is the foreign key for that. The primary key for that. And then I'm going to double click date and time, so that we can put the date and time of the appointments in. Now the next thing I need to put in is the doctor details, right, and also the patient details. So to do that, we've got to be a little bit careful, because we don't want to use the primary keys in these tables, because if we do select them, it's going to generate another number, and we don't want to generate another number. We actually want to be able to select the doctors that are already there. So we do the foreign keys to get the details right. So I'm going to double click on the doctor ID, and over here under doctor, I'm going to click on the first name and last name of the doctor. And over here, what I'm going to do is select the patient details. So I'm going to go over here and choose the patient ID. And then in the patient, first name, second name, and I'll probably put a date of birth in there just as a check. Once I've selected all those, and you can scroll across to see them, I'm just going to quite simply just close out of that and save it, and give it a name of query form, query appointment form. And then I go over to create, and this time I'm going to go to form, and I need to choose a form wizard. And over here we can choose which table, so we can actually create forms for the other tables, but I want to run the form on this query. So I'm going to select the query, I'm going to actually select all of the fields, and I'm going to choose next. And it's going to give me some options here as to which view I want to see this. And I'm going to select patients, because I want the patient details to come up first. And then I want, in a subform, the additional details. Actually, what I've made a mistake on there is I don't actually need the patient details in here. It's going to crop up. Oh, I do need them in here. I'm going to have to stop the recording now. Right, patient, there we go. So that's got our patient details up at the top, and then we've got appointment ID and all of that. And I click next, and we want to use data sheet view, and I click finish, and now it's generated my form. In my form, what I can do is I can go through the patient details here and select the patient that I want. And if I can't find one, I can even do a search, and it'll pick up the record. And then I want to create an appointment for this patient. So I'm going to go select the date and make an appointment for tomorrow. And I create a lookup for the times, because it's easy to select that way than to choose from a time data type. So I'm going to choose 8:45 a.m. And the cool thing about this is when I choose my doctor, so I'm going to choose Doctor 3, it's going to populate the details of the doctor in there for me as well. And once that's done, I can just click next, and I could continue to create records over here of the appointments, okay? And that's what we need to do to create a form for entering appointments. Now, the one thing is that it doesn't cover everything, but we only want to put an appointment in there. We can't put information about the treatment and diagnosis in there yet. The doctor would come along and do that later on. So this is basically a form just purely for booking appointments for the patients. And once the appointment's been created, we can close this down. What we could do later on is create another query to pull in the details about the treatments and diagnoses, and we could create a separate form, so when a doctor later on has seen the patient, he can go in and click on the form and enter the information separately. Okay?